back to our symposium. I hope you have an enjoyable lunch. We now have our second panel, which is on Hong Kong literature. In this panel, we are glad to have invited Professor Fan Xin-Hu, Associate Professor at the Department of Chinese Language and Literature, to be our moderator. We have three presentations, respectively, by Professor WONG Nim Yan, Ms. Kitty Seal, and Ms. Daphne T.Y, and myself. Before passing the stage to the panel, may I invite Ms. Jones to present souvenirs to our moderator and presenters. First, may I invite Professor Fan, our moderator, please. Professor Fan, please stay on stage for a group photo. Professor WONG Nim Yan, please. Kitty and Daphne, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the symposium. In the afternoon, we will have two panels. And this one is for Hong Kong literature, and the coming one is for Chinese text. And as I was, at the very first time they invited me to the moderator, I was told that it will be conducted bilingually. So I think I have to use some Chinese in case I cannot express in English. First of all, I would like to introduce the four presenters of this panel. And in your booklet, you have the English title of the paper, but I would like to read the Chinese title for you because this is they are all Chinese texts. And the first one is by Professor WONG Nim Yan. Professor Wong is the associate professor of the Chinese department. And her paper is Network Theory, Plot Analysis, a case study of Lü Lun's Poverty-Stricken Alley, Dead End. 网络理论、情节分析、吕伦从下个案研究。这个从下是一个香港文学里面非常重要的一个小说。我可能可以吧？好，谢谢。但我们过去看这个小说，只是从那个内容来看，结果呢，就是有一些东西其实是看不清楚的。因为刚早上的时候我很幸运，黄教授告诉我他大概会谈什么东西，然后我就突然发现我从前读的那个小说都是白读了，因为里面最重要的事情没有看到过，所以我很希望他大会用一个全新的科技，让我们可以看到一些从前没有看的东西。先请那个王念信教授先谈。
谢谢范教授的介绍。那我开始我今天的报告。Network theory, plot analysis, was an attempt to sketch out some hypotheses for plots. And I choose to engage in network theory because we have a special case in hand by one of the earliest and most exemplary writer in Hong Kong, Lü Lun, with a newly found text donated by his son to the CUHK library last year. And here you see how happy Maria and I were receiving these special and precious texts. It was a film script, a screenplay actually, which was based on the novel written by Lu Lun in 1947, namely 穷巷恐慌, usually translated as Poverty-Stricken Alley, or I would suggest, maybe after this presentation, to be rather translated as the dead end. Before I started with showing those network of characters in the screenplay, I would like to say a few more words on why it matters. The novel Poverty-Stricken Alley has always been regarded as the turning point of Lu Lun's writing, shifting from romantic stories about some dandy young men and fancy women to the outcry of the suppressed poor people, which also marked a so-called left turn to the communist principle of literature of a left-wing writer. And suggested by the critics, the network of the plots and characters of the novel 穷巷 would look something as simple as this. This is the screenplay and the novel Poverty-Stricken Alley, and the screenplay actually is handwritten by Lu Lun. Okay, this is the plot and network of the novel suggested by some critics, as simple as this. The main plot shows how the central character, Gao Huai, is this a laser pointer? Is this the laser pointer? No, it's okay. Okay, this is Gao Huai here. And his friends deal with the landlady in the middle, Fang Dong, every day, struggling with their long overdue rent. So we can see how these friends of four are clustered around the landlady. And there are three sidelines of the story, including, firstly, how the female character, Bai Mei, a newly met friend of Gao Huai, escaped from her sister and brother-in-law who wanted to sell her out as a prostitute. While the second plot would be Mo Lin on the left side, Mo Lin, he wants to find justice for himself by confronting his enemy, Wang Daniu, who betrayed him in the Japanese occupation years in Hong Kong. And the third plot is how Du Quan, in the left lower corner, the plot is about how he caught the courting of the Queen of Cigarette, Ah Zheng, by gaining acceptance of Ah Zheng's mother, Wu Gu. So this kind of network plotting actually usually doesn't work very well for novels, because much of what the characters do and say is not uttered, but narrated by the narrator in a novel. And those direct conversations cover only a part of the plot, and usually a very small part. So we can see, this is novel, and it's difficult to determine which connections are making within this narration. But in screenplays, however, the left-hand side, we have this handwritten screenplay by Lu Lun, also named 穷巷. Plot network works much better because words are actions, and actions are almost always words. So basically, a network of speech acts is a network of actions, and they are easily counted as separated units of communication. In this case, when I got hold of the never yet published film script of the Poverty-Stricken Alley, I tried immediately to make a network of characters and compare it with the novel plots. And here is what I got from the script. This is the input of every trace of conversation among those characters. So it's easily done because it's clear cut. Who says something to who. And this is the network. There are two things worth mentioning first. Firstly, these edges the lines are not weighted yet at the moment. Though I can do that with my data, but I think the weighting would distract me from the sole concern of the plot analysis. And again, the edges have no direction yet. And I'll prefer to discuss in words rather than having a graph of many edges with arrows at both ends. So what can we see in this network? It is that very seemingly unimportant plot, as well as the character and an insignificant character involved, were clustered around by a great number of people, forming these networks around him. First of all, here's Gao Huai at the center. Without doubt, he is a central character who is a writer and the main breadwinner to pay the rent. Critics usually compare the character, Gao Huai, to the author, Lu Lun himself, and see him as the great model of the communist ideology, helping people as much as he can, and negotiates with all kinds of difficult situations. But on the contrary, the unemployed Du Quan, the one on the right side, highlighted in yellow, who pretended to have a job in the shipyard in order to impress the Queen of Cigarette, Zheng, and her mother. He likes singing the same line of lyric repeatedly, always saying, "Oh my girl, only for your eyes," and a very romantic guy, living in his dreamy world. He didn't contribute to the pressing rent problem. Instead, he continuously struggled with an old clock, which Zheng's mother had given him and asked him to repair it. Du Quan was finally put into jail because he was accused of stealing a snuff bottle of for Zheng's mother. He was too shameful for the charge and committed suicide afterwards by jumping from the roof of a building. Comparing the helpful Gao Huai and the unrealistic Du Quan, in the sense of ideology, it is easy to dismiss the latter's plot as insignificant and trivial. However, after plotting each direct contact of characters with Du Quan, we can see that the main plot was actually not clustered around the landlady, but instead on Du Quan. Everyone cares about whether he can manage to repair that old clock Wu Gu's given him, while he kept moaning for not having $10 Hong Kong dollars to mend the clock and earn him respect from Wu Gu and her daughter. Moreover, Du Quan's conversation is highly concentrated on how he managed to win Zheng's heart and Wu Gu's respect, while Gao Huai's conversation was shared among different concerns of different characters' problems. Here come to my first observation from the network and plot analysis. While a romantic and dandy character like Du Quan steals the stage from the communistic role model of Gao Huai, could we still see this work as a piece of left-wing literature? While Du Quan may represent the romantic disposition of the author in his earlier years, what message did the suicide of Du Quan convey? To answer this question, we have to further look into some critics' views on the work. Zhao Xifang, a critic from mainland, sees Poverty-Stricken Alley as a work lacking subjectivity, lacking local color and identity, since it does not depict many cityscapes of Hong Kong. Moreover, he continued to criticize about the cultural barren status, cultural desert-like status of Hong Kong, leaving the author with no choice but writing very little about the local color of Hong Kong. Seeing the significance of the romantic character of Du Quan by examining the network and plots around him, we should gain some new insights about what local color or subjectivity of Hong Kong literature would mean. In the case of the film script of the Poverty-Stricken Alley, the Cantonese used in the script contributed a lot to the local color of Lu Lun's work. However, the local identity should not be limited to some tangible contents, but rather to the deeper symbolic meaning of the structure of the network. Just as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, Poverty-Stricken Alley may not be the best translation of the title CUHK, since a dimly lit alley was mentioned only once in the beginning of the play, where Gao Huai first saw Bai Mei abused by her brother-in-law. Other than that, most of the play was staged indoors, in the shabby apartment they shared. In fact, CUHK in Chinese doesn't necessarily mean an alley. It could be a humble place to live in, such as in Louxiang. Therefore, CUHK could be about where all the ensemble of characters live and how they struggle through various challenges. And I would like to contribute one more explanation to the title, which is a symbolic dead end about the situation of all the characters facing, in which Chung doesn't mean poverty, but the end. Since the work was written in 1947 and published in the early 50s as a novel, the dead end situation facing by Hong Kong people is opened to a lot of explanations. Does it mean that life in Hong Kong is so unbearable that one should think seriously of going back to mainland China? Or does it mean that even though life was so horrible in Hong Kong, two of the main characters, Gao Huai and Bai Mei, were still walking proudly to the street, choosing their own path? Is the title of a dead-end situation an irony comparing to the relatively bright ending? Or such a title actually brings up the question of freedom of expression in Hong Kong, which allows a writer to write vaguely about his own future? The effort of plotting a network of Lu Lun's film script rewarded me with these questions, which I found crucial to the leftist literary principle, as well as the subjectivity and cultural idea of the Hong Kong literature. And I find network analysis of drama very rewarding. So I look forward to a more collaborative project of comparing large amounts of plays within our existing corpus like this one. So thank you very much.
那第二个就是那个Miss Kitty Steele and Daphne T.Y，这是我们图书馆的同事，赵洁仪女士跟苏芷柔女士，他们的题目是文字在勘探香港古典诗文及经演录，作者网络研究。其实这本书《香港古典文学文集经演录》也是图书馆同事的那个书。这本书我觉得是香港现代研究香港的古典诗最好的一本著作，因为它收集了香港大量的出版的那个诗文集，里面可以看到好多的香港的诗人，而且大家知道香港在古典文学方面其实是没有对现代文学那么重视，所以对古典诗人的一些开头文都没有很多的材料。然后图书馆的同事就是那个周颖文女士写的那本书以后，就让我们可以对香港的古典文学有些了解。然后呢，我觉得最兴奋的是邵女士跟苏女士两位用这本书用那个 networking 的那个功夫，把里面我们从前没有发现的好多东西拿出来，我真的非常的期待。
Okay, I'm Kitty, and I'm the Digital Scholarship Librarian here, and welcome to the Symposium. And okay, this time I'll be presenting an experiment work on the very important book of our library as introduced by Professor Fan. Okay. Daphne is my research assistant, and although we are working together, okay, but because we just have 15 minutes Okay, so just me, he's here. Okay, so my title is Rewriting Text, okay, an experiment on visualizing over network in this book, 香港古典詩密集嘅經眼錄. Okay, so what's the background? Okay, as this is a very important book, and actually, okay, in our library we have a very important stock of the Hong Kong literature, but most of them are in hard copy. Okay, and so in our team, the Total Scholarship team, okay, we would like to see what we can do with our important stock, so that we can help our researchers and students, okay, to facilitate their research. And so this book, an annotated bibliography of the classical writing of Hong Kong poets. Okay, it was published in 2011, and our research associate, okay, Ms. Y.W. Chow, who has compiled, okay, used her time to have so much research, compiled the information of over 800 titles of the poets written by 514 Hong Kong poets. And this project, okay, we would like to have an experiment to, in fact, okay, she is doing text binding already by herself. And we, this time, okay, as a reminder, okay, to dig in to her book and to have some experiments and process the data, the content, to display and explore with some digital scholarship methods. We will be having two things. One is the poet network visualization, and the other is poet's origins geospatial display. Okay, so this book, it contains many information actually, and it has tables of the poets' information and their published poetry works. The poets are arranged by their Chinese stroke surname, okay, and each one will have their brief biography and also the relationship with Hong Kong. Some are born in Hong Kong, some are working in Hong Kong, some stay in Hong Kong. Okay, and the bibliography of his or her work is listed with simple citation, including the location, whether it can be found in the CUHK library or other locations, maybe Hong Kong libraries or even Shanghai library as well. And the call number, and those authors, those people who have gave the these few Chinese things, okay, just try my best to translate into English, including 題簽, okay, 題簽, preface, 序, inscription, 題詞, and then postscript. I don't know if this all this translation is good enough. And also, the number of poems, verses, and other literature works that can be located are also listed in their tables. And also a brief introduction of the items. Okay, so let's go to the methodology. In this project, okay, we have the book content, and then we try to retrieve the information from that using very traditional methods, okay? And we have retrieved the information, including the names of those poets and those people who are related to them, and the title of those literary works, poetry works, and other classical writings, which are listed in their information, and the places, including their origin, okay, and other places which are mentioned in their entry, and also the institutions, those maybe poet societies, and their workplace, some schools, and some companies, etc., are also which are appearing in their biography will also be retrieved. Something like this. This is originally a table form, okay, and we make it into Excel format first, and then of course we have to do some more massaging and processing, and then. In visualizing the author's networks, okay, we have used Bibliography, an open source software, okay, which can help people to visualize the network between the objects. And the data retrieval, we have completed the 1 to 5 strokes of the poet's sonnet, okay, which has about 32 authors. And the different colors are being used to represent the object types, the author's name, the related people, and their works, institutions, and places. And during our experiments, okay, although only 32 poets have been completed, okay, the network graph is already very complicated, and we have tried the presentation for some other suitable effects. Okay, this is the first graph. Sorry, it's not very good. Okay, the red dot in the middle is Hong Kong actually. Okay, so all the things are related to Hong Kong, and so the red dot here is Hong Kong. And we have those blue dots here are those 32 authors that we have completed. And these are their works in green dots. The red one are those other people which are related to the author itself and also maybe to the works also. Okay? And also for the yellow ones, okay? These yellow ones are those institutions and maybe poet society, etc., interest groups, okay? Such things that are related to them. And so we have, this is our first try, okay, doing this. In fact, the Gephi software actually can do some other things. For example, it can also be exported into website. Okay, those other things can be ignored, but the graph here. So it can have some dynamic visual display actually. So if you highlight, okay, maybe highlight the people here, you can also see the networks. Okay, you will see others. This is one kind of visualization, okay, to arouse the interests of other people. And the other type is, okay, the people's names are already here. And what you can do is to zoom in and zoom out to see the more complicated network, okay? So this is another display. And so we would like to use the software, okay, to see what kind of visualization is better, or it may help other people to see if he or she likes to make some similar things. Okay, so how about the others? Apart the whole network, okay, we also have just retrieved the author's information and the people's information, and this is the 32 authors with their related other people's, other maybe scholars, etc., etc. So we will have something like this, okay. And we have also tried to do individual network, okay? This is only one of the authors, Librarian. And his network is already quite complicated. And we have used, okay, originally we have linked the people who are related to him already, okay? But for this network, okay, we have linked those with maybe preface or other things that are related to his works, a link to here instead of the people, okay? So this is just something that researchers or we can try. Okay, this is a little evaluation, okay? Well, we are still processing the data because there are over 500 authors, and we will still need some time to process data. And you will see that with only 32 poets, the network is already something like this. Okay? So if we have processed the 514 authors, we will see that some people may be linked together. Okay? We will see the network more clearly. And so, how about next? Okay, apart from the network, okay, we have also used the data inside to try another one, which is a geospatial display. And we have tried to plot the poet's origins, okay, that And in the bibliography, okay, we have break down the poets' origins by the provinces. And in fact, in Ms. Charles' book, there is a table of breakdown to provinces. Okay? But we have dig into the data, the information inside, and we'll see the counties and cities. Okay? And so of the 514 people, we have located over 460. And so we have tried using ArcGIS to make it. And okay, this is the graph here. So most of them, of course, are from China. Okay, and one of them are from Singapore. Which is and then and you will see that most of them are, of course, maybe from Guangdong, okay, Guangdong, and you will see that. But apart from that, you will see that there are also other provinces, okay, which they are originally come from, and the farthest one is even come from Gansu, yeah. So you will see that in Hebei. You will see all these things. Okay, so this is what we have tried, okay, now. And our project goes a bit fast, actually. Okay, so we would like to use the book. Actually, these are only some display to show what digital scholarship tools can do. And we would like to create a data set from the book data, and we would like to open it for researchers' use. Okay. Although some of the researchers may say, I know these people, so I know the network of these people. But how about the others? Sometimes when you have courses, sometimes you may want to showcase to arouse the interest of your students, and so I think that it would be useful for that. And we will also want to give some inspirations to the students, to the researchers for further research. And, okay, and with the use of the information in the bibliography, we will hope to, we can explore more relationship between all Hong Kong cohorts. And in fact, we hope that it will be useful to those researchers who are doing Hong Kong literature research. And also by demonstrating the use of those digital scholarship research tools, we have used Gephi and also ArcGIS, and those methodology on network visualization and origin display. Okay, so to then demonstrate and showcase. And of course, we would like to, after we complete the project, we will also put it in our DS project website so that people can make use of the data and make use of the graphs so for further research or inspirations. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.
第三就是Dr. Wendy Wong 黄海英博士的Topic Modeling in the Chinese Student Weekly 从主题模型看中国学生周报。这个中国学生周报，我觉得有两个很重要的地方。第一就是在香港过去，就是从50年代到70年代的时候，那个是一个非常非常重要的刊物。从那个时候长大的人，其实都起码看过那个一部分的香港中国学生周报。然后第二就是那个中国学生周报在图书馆建立那个香港文学资料库的时候，做了很大的功夫，把它全文放在网络上，然后我们可以很轻易的在世界上各个不同的地方都可以看到这个刊物。那所以现在Dr. Wong 尝试用一个Topic Modeling 的那个技巧把那个刊物里面是材料抽出来，我觉得那个也一定会带给我们一个对这个刊物完全不一样的那个印象。那我就不打扰大家时间。
Good afternoon. The Chinese Student Weekly, 中国學生週報, a magazine published in Hong Kong between 1952 and 1974, was an influential magazine on the literature and students during its 23 years of publication and thereafter. It has also nurtured numerous renowned Hong Kong writers in the previous half a century. The CUHK Library was glad to have Professor Lo Wai Lun, 小思老師 donated her collection of the Chinese Student Weekly to our Hong Kong literature collection, 香港文學特創. With the kind permission from the rights owner, Mr. Lam Yuhan, the collection of the weekly was digitized with its full text available in 2003. It was then deposited in our Hong Kong literature database for public access. Due to its influence, the weekly has been a strong reference for researchers on cultural studies about Hong Kong and China in those decades. On the other hand, researchers have also been researching topics in the weekly. Topics in existing research on the weekly are largely based on researchers' cultural knowledge. With the techniques on text mining, the weekly could be investigated in a broader perspective. This presentation aims not only to report the creation of the weekly dataset and some experimental analysis and visualizations based on the dataset, but also to suggest further studies on the weekly from the topic modeling analysis. When I was first in touch with the raw data of the weekly, the metadata and the full text were in XML format. In order to do analysis on the full text, I had to transform the XML file into CSV files. With the large volume of the text involved, it was not easy to transform the XMLs into CSV files with word processing software or online tools. I therefore used Python to transcribe the XML files into CSV files. With the CSV files, we got to know that there are 23 years of publication. More than 79,000 pieces of articles were published. This figure includes articles published in the weekly, like row number 3 and 7 here on the screen, and also the advertisements, like row number 8 to 10 here. Altogether, there are more than 58 million of character counts in the full text. With the full text available in CSV file format, I created word clouds. The challenge we had to deal with when working with Chinese text is phrase segmentation. In English text mining, space is used as a delimiter. However, there are no spaces between phrases in Chinese. We neither can segment the text in Chinese simply by characters, since a phrase may have a different meaning from a character. Therefore, segmentation of the text into phrases is necessary. I chose to use the programming language packages Jiba for Chinese phrase segmentation. Word clouds were created with reference to the frequency of the phrases in corpus. I further incorporated the concept of stop words, since some frequent phrases may not be of our main concern. There were the stop words. These were the stop words removed from the corpus when creating the word clouds. The new word cloud created shows that the phrases 知道, meaning know, 現在 now, 工作 work, 起來 get up, and 還是 also are more frequently used in the weekly. This is the word cloud in the map of Hong Kong. The size of words shows that this phrase 知道 know is more frequently used in comparison to other phrases that were just mentioned. With this image in mind, when we look into the weekly in the future, we could be more aware of how the phrase 知道 meaning know is used in the text. Whether it is referring to 知道 know or 不知道 not know will be our attention. What the authors would like the readers to know is also an interesting topic. Also, based on the frequency of phrases, topic modeling is another hot topic in text mining. Topic modeling is a statistical model to investigate the topics that come about in a corpus. By using LDA topic modeling package, I have these 10 topics generated from the corpus. Topics here are divided into several areas. Topic 3 is a philosophical topic. It's about 社會 society. Can you find it? It's here. Society 社會 life 生命 world 世界 human 人生人類 and thinking 思想. This is about this more philosophical topic. And for topic 8 here, it could be a topic on schooling and peers. Phrases include 同學 classmates, teachers, 老師先生 school 學校 reader 讀者 and also know 知道. The phrases that was prominently shown in the word cloud. And the graph here on your left shows the intertopic distance between topics. Topics 1, 2, 3, and 8 are closely packed together. Phrases are similar, but still have some differences in their topic. The graph on your right shows the top 30 most relevant terms for each topic. Blue color, that is these blue colors. Blue color indicates the frequency of the term in the whole corpus. And the red color, this, shows this frequency in a selected topic. So here, if I select circle number 3, that is topic number 3, these are the frequency of the terms within the whole corpus. And the red color here shows the frequency within that topic. And here, you can see the frequency of the terms on the top. So here you can see that topic 1, yes, this is topic 1. The phrases father and mother shows that this topic could be on family life, and topic 3 is what we have mentioned on philosophical topic, and 8, it is something about school life and schooling and peers. The extensive area covered here in this graph on the left side here may suggest that philosophy and interpersonal relationship could be a topic for future research on the weekly. Let's look at another example. Topic 5 is more political. Phrases in this topic include place name like Hong Kong, China, Japan, and the United States here. Besides, the phrases governments here, students, freedom, history here, and ethnicity here are also included in this topic, making this topic more political. On the other hand, topic 7 is on art and movies. It's obvious from the first few terms. Well, topic 5, a topic on politics, and topic 7, the movie topic, have some overlapping areas in the graph on your left. We can delve into how the top 30 words in the 2 topics are correlated. So this is topic 7. You can have a browse of all the terms quickly. And this is 5 that we have gone through in quite details. The 2 top 30 phrases in the 2 topics are not very similar. However, the overlapping area in the inter-topic distance graph on your left may suggest some movies discussed in those days were related to politics. This may be a direction of further studies of the Chinese Students Weekly. On the inter-topic distance map on the left, we see that topic 10, it is out here, as far as the opposite corner of the topic, of the graph. This shows that this topic is rather distinctive. Looking at the phrases in this topic shows that the phrases are some noisy data. Without DA for topic modeling, phrases in a closed topic are put together. The visualization shows that the inter-topic distance and the frequency in the corpus the frequency in the corpus and specific topic. In literature criticism, close reading has been usually used. Yet, with topic modeling, we can look into the whole corpus from a distance. Distance reading is implied in research using digital approach. With distance reading, we may come up with new topics. The extensive focus from the graph on philosophical and interpersonal relationship may be a topic for future research. Associating the politics with movies may be another topic. However, even with distance reading, scholars have to return at a certain stage to close reading on how the phrases are used in a sentence or in the context. Rather than unidirectional, traditional and digital text mining methods are often bidirectional. What I have presented here are only some preliminary experiments of how digital tools could be applied to the Chinese Students Weekly, a magazine in Chinese and published in Hong Kong. This sets the beginning, but not a conclusion of using digital analytical methods on the Hong Kong literature collection. The visualizations that were shown are only a very few of how the materials could be analyzed and presented. The materials available in the Hong Kong literature database are worthwhile for further exploration using other analytical tools and visualizations. During the process of this investigation, the discussion with Professor WONG Nim Yan and Professor Fan Xinpiu were very fruitful. While the CUHK library has a very strong collection on Hong Kong literature, collaboration with faculty is important since the knowledge on data science that we have must adhere to the expert knowledge of faculty on what questions to ask. The interdisciplinary partnership will create new research directions and unexpected outcomes. In addition to the expert knowledge and guidance from professors, teachers, and colleagues, the technical advice from my colleagues has much been appreciated. The magic code and all the hands-on coding and programming concepts are extraordinarily important for this pilot study to come true. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the three presenters and for all of the papers. As a layman of networking, topic modeling, and text mining like me, in fact, I should not have anything to comment. I'm not eligible to comment anything, but I'd like to take the privilege of the moderator to express my excitement before anybody can raise the question. Should we come out to invite all the authors to come out to here? I'll do it bilingually. Before I come to this symposium, I think what the new digital tools can help us to find new things. After the three presentations, I was so impressed. I think the first important thing I come to my mind is the importance of visualization. All the three papers give me a very strong visualization effect. For the first paper of Professor WONG Nim Yan, 他的那个论文里面提到过，重像，他对重像有一个跟我们过去不同的分析。过去我们把那个小说的结构的中心的位置放在那个包租婆 landladies 那里，然后从那个 networking 他提出，其实杜权才是另外一个更重要的中心。我觉得那个发现最令人鼓舞的地方就是，我们可能可以走出过去读这个小说的一个套路，完全跟以往不一样。但是呢，其实过去的结构是不是没有用？我觉得也不一定是这样子。其实是我们可以去想两种结构，一种是以那个包租婆为中心的，另外一种是以杜权为中心的。为什么这两个结构会不同？背后这两个结构背后的那个假设是怎样？我觉得那个才是最有趣的地方。所以那个 new digital tools help us to find really new things, but on the other side, the old structure still valid, I think. So we have some more knowledge about the novel. 然后第二个就是那个施文静演录，就是邵小姐跟苏小姐两个人的这个，我觉得最有趣的是那个 networking 显示的文字的大小。我的理解是，如果对文字越大，就表示它的 network， 它拥有的 network 越多，不光是那个作家或者是那个地方。那有趣的就是那些大的字是不是就是，如果是人名，如果那个是大的字，会不会就是我们心目中的大诗人？有时候是，但有时候可能不是。所以我觉得最有趣的就是，如果那个名字大，但是他不是大诗人的话。那大在什么地方？那个 network 跟他的那个人有什么关系？如果他是大诗人的话，当然，同时他的字具体也大，那我们还可以考虑他的大诗人的名气究竟来自他的 network 还是来自他其他东西？我觉得这个太有趣了。然后就是地方的问题，但因为这本书主要是根据周女士的书。周女士的书是从香港找出来的那些诗集，所以如果想象我们从北京、从上海找一本这样的书来做那个 networking 的话，我觉得这个图像比较起来应该是很有趣。那可以看出，可能是一些诗人的流动，或者是历史派的那个关系。我觉得中间实在有很多东西可以做。然后对我来讲，最困难是 Dr. Wong 的那个 topic modeling， 我就是有点困难，我的那个 digital 的 knowledge 太差。但是我刚才跟黄建新教授讨论，我们看到一个很有趣，就是其中有个 topic 里面，弥敦道、雷敦斗革命跟中共是有很强、很密切的关系。我想不出来雷敦斗跟那个革命有什么关系，所以。其实你的那个 topic modeling， 我觉得是提供了好多我们从来没有想到过的有可能发生关系的东西。如果那个能够解决那个谜的话，我觉得应该是让我们可以写出好多过去没有想过的那个方向。所以这是 some of my excitement。然后下面就是我觉得应该大家都有很多问题想或者是感想想跟三位。讲者分享，所以下面就请大家可以whatever language you would like to use, please. Chinese, English, Mandarin, or 广东话。
我想問下黃教授咧，啱啱你講個 network theory 咧，同埋個 digital scholarship 咧，其實係邊一方面咧係幫到你去分析窮巷呢本小説多一啲，定係兩者都咁重要？
好多謝你嘅問題。我都係普通話講好唔好？你唔介意嗎？就是network theory 重要一點，還是 digital scholarship 那個工具重要一點。其實你看我的報告，你可以發現我是3個報告裡面最 low tech 的，所有的圖都是手繪的，就是就是統計都是當然 Excel 會幫忙，但是我其實上過Kitty 的2個 workshops。但是我是非常不好的學生，所以我還不可以自己去處理，所以
你可以找我幫你。
你已經幫了我很多，就是他講的那個 Getty 的那個概念，我覺得是很有用的。這是我最簡單，我今天的報告你可以覺得我都是 close reading 是比較多，就是我發現了一個 structure 是一個起點，就是如果我沒有畫這個 network 的話呢，我真的不知道杜泉原來那麼多的人去關心他那個舊的中到底弄不弄得好。那所以呢，我覺得那個還是那個科技是第一步去幫我去沒有這樣看過這個人物的關係。但是後來的那個解釋呢，我還是回到我的本行，就是文學的，就是我剛才衍生出來的說的那個左翼文學的一些教條，大家覺得要寫地下階層的，要寫很辛苦的掙扎的，房租交不出來以外呢，它是不是可以有另外一種左翼也好，或者是女人本身的那個小說的理想，就是我在香港。我寫什麼都可以，我可以寫一個絕望的人，我不一定要寫光明的，或者是地下層的，他們的怎麼互相幫助。我覺得那個 subjectivity 就是發現香港的那個主體性是從那個 network 的一個很簡單的我自己的技術不是很複雜，但是那個簡單的起點是以前沒有發現過的。謝謝。
I have a question to Dr. Wong. My understanding, you take up this pilot in a very short period. While using all this digital methodology to approach this weekly, can you share with us what are the key challenges? Because we just heard from faculty, you do have the domain knowledge. Then from somebody who does not have this domain knowledge, what do you have to overcome in such a short period and make sense out of it?
The first challenge was programming. I minored in computer science, but it was more than 10 years ago. So after going to high school, I have to pick up all the programming skills. And because I only minored in computer science, that I'm not as fluent as those technical people, all at the back of the stage, so their advice is very important, and that's the first challenge. And the second challenge is probably because I did research in music before, and during the process, I did want to find out something to have a result to tell in this presentation. So I struggled for some time because I don't know what to tell from the wiki. But after this discussion with Professor Fan and Professor Wong, I had myself, my own position cleared that I'm from the library and I'm not going to tell the results. The result is going to be explored by the experts from Chinese, from cultural studies and so on and so forth. I'm only providing the platform and the methods that researchers can come to use and further explore in the future.
Hi, thank you for the wonderful presentations. And I have a question for Nim Yan. I did not get a chance to learn from your research this morning in the meeting. And I just wonder, you have both text, the novel and also the screenplay, right? I was sitting at the back and I'm not sure for the charts. Is from the novel, right? And what about the screenplay? Do you have a digitized text for it, and is it worked out? By what program is it? Is there any name for the software? Or?
It's an Excel. Thank you. An Excel program. I just showed you. That's each conversation, each line in the play. I find my lovely students to count and chart it for me, and so it's generated from the Excel at this moment. But I'll try to be a good student of Gephi, and actually the tools are out there. But just I've tried using Gephi, but the graphs are too complicated. It's not as clear. But as long as the results are the same, so I prefer to draw my own graphs. Thank you.
I think it's a very interesting paper.
You may answer his question on whether a big poet, how to measure.
Okay. Thanks for Professor Fan's question. And 讲中文可以 ，OK， 那讲中文。OK， 那其实那个字形的大小是可以自己设定的。然后就是我只是想用一下，就是刚刚那个图，为什么那一些人会比较大？因为就是想说那本书里面的那32个依照古画的那个作者，然后就是所以我把他们的名字会变大一点点。可是 Gephi 里面可以设定，就是说如果它的connection 比较多的话，那它的字形可以比较大一点点，然后那个东也可以，那个点也可以大一点点，然后这个是可以设定的，那就是那个 Gephi 可以使用的东西，对，那它可以 proportionally 或者是自己去做都可以，对。有。
所以我是应该参加你的班。From the very beginning
那其实我们图书馆就是想说，因为我们不是做 research 嘛，然后其实我们希望能够利用这些东西，利用这些软件或者是 program 或者是一些 tools， 能够先做一个示范，然后做 research 的话就留给我们的老师，然后我们可以帮你，希望能够帮助你们做一些新的 research， 就这样子。
one more question.
So, library has, I think both the pilot are very exciting. So if any of our students or researcher is interested to continue with what you have done, you said is make it ready for researcher and students to explore. Is there any kind of provision that our students can approach the library to get access?
Okay, we have the DS Projects website, and also welcome researchers, welcome our students to contact us by email ds@lib.chuhk.edu.hk. Thank you.
Any questions? Time is running out, so anything to? Do you have anything to say?
Okay, that's the end of this panel. And we have prepared some light refreshment this time, and please enjoy. We'll come back at 3.